So vectors in space, 3 dimensions, means that the vector, which we've dealt with already, in 2 dimensions, it just had these first 2 coordinates, v1, v2, right? Now it's got a 3rd component, v1, v2, v3. Right? That's what we call the component form of a vector. Right? How do you recognize the component form? By those kind of angle brackets that it's inside, right? That's what tells you this is not a point in space. This is a vector because of the angle brackets. Now remember, we had another way to write a vector, which was as a linear combination of the standard unit vectors, right? Which at that time, we only had I and j, right? But now we've got to add a 3rd standard unit vector. Right? So I now, before it was 1, 0, but in 3 dimensions it's 1, 0, 0. It's still a 1 unit vector in the x direction. Goes from the origin, 1 unit in the x direction. J is still a 1 unit vector in the y direction, 0, 1, add the 3rd component as 0. K is a new vector, standard unit vector, and that's the 1 unit vector in the vertical, which is 0, 0, 1. So you can write the linear combination of standard unit vectors becomes v1i plus v2j plus v3k, right? Where I, j, and k are vectors. That's why they got the little arrow on the top. In the book, that's why they will be bold, right? Not to be confused with the center of a sphere, which actually uses hk and j, but they're not vectors, right? They're scalars because there's no arrow on the top. Okay. We will find the magnitude of a vector that has 3 components to it by the same kind of distance formula, Pythagorean formula looking thing, the square root of, now it's v1 squared plus v2 squared plus v3 squared. Right? We will find a unit vector in the same direction as v by dividing it by its magnitude. So once you know a magnitude, then the unit vector in the same direction is v1 over the magnitude, v2 over the magnitude, v3 over the magnitude. We will find the angle in between vectors with the same formula that we use in 2 dimensions, right? Cosine theta is u dot v over the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v, right? Which embedded in that is we got a dot product, and the dot product is just one more step more complicated because now it's u dot v is u1 v1 plus u2 v2 plus u3 v3, right? 3 parts to it.